Good evening. My name is Brittany Ame, and tonight we're going to be, tonight afternoon, depends where you are, we're going to be talking a little bit about athletic performance, whether you are a current athlete, a former athlete, a parent of athletes. We're going to share a little bit of our stories and how nutrition has played a big impact for us and hopefully just kind of give you some tools to walk away with from here. Um, you may or may not have heard about Juice Plus, but we are partnered with the Juice Plus company. And so tonight you might hear us talk a little bit more about that as we share our testimonies. But I will go ahead and go first and share a little bit about my background. So I am a former volleyball player. I played, let's see, how young was I when I first started playing? Sixth grade. Sixth grade is when I started playing volleyball. I played club volleyball, so traveled all over the place, and then went to play Division I collegiate volleyball, and then went to play overseas in Switzerland for a season, and then came back and played some beach volleyball. And I've been coaching for a little over 15 years now. I coached club volleyball, so travel, AAU, there's all these different names out there for it, but we call it club volleyball. I coached that for over 10 years, and then recently just coaching high school volleyball, which I really love because it's my program and I kind of get to run things how I want. So with that being said, my background, like me as a young athlete, how did I eat? I don't know, I was a 90s baby, so I don't think that we ate the best. I think we ate a lot of like processed foods. There was a lot of like microwave things. We didn't do fast food, like going out for like fast food a lot, but we did have a lot of processed foods, and it was like what was quick and easy. There was 4 kids in our house. My mom was doing the best she could to like get some sort of food in our body and get us out the door. I was playing volleyball, my sister was playing volleyball, my brothers were playing basketball. We were doing high school and also travel ball. And so it was just crazy. And so I just want to say, like, if you're a parent who's listening to this and you have a similar schedule like that, like, I get it. It's not easy to be perfect with nutrition. When you're just pulled in 5 million different places. Did we eat a lot of fruits and vegetables? I do not remember that. So, and I also don't remember like having a lot of vitamins and stuff. Like we just kind of like, you guys, I don't know. I do remember at dinner, my mom would be like, you need to eat your salad. We had salads at dinner. I do remember that. We did not drink soda. We always had water for the most part. And so now here I am, fast forward as a coach with all of this knowledge that I have from the Juice Plus company and how many fruits and vegetables we're supposed to be eating daily. And my mind is kind of blown because I just think of how much more focused mentally I could have been as an athlete. Maybe how much more stamina I may have had as an athlete if I fueled my body better. And if I would have known what I know now, which is probably what you're going to hear a lot of from both of the other Courtneys as they share their story as former athletes. But now I really do feel like it's like a big mission of mine to make sure that to incorporate into the training that I do with my athletes, that I'm constantly telling them after we train, like, they hear me all the time and they follow me on social media. So they kind of like laugh at me, but I'm like, eat your fruits and vegetables, drink your water, go to bed on time. Because I know now how important that is for their recovery. And, to have for sure, any of my starting athletes, but any athletes at all, to lose them to injury or sickness or whatever, because they're not taking care of themselves, is super detrimental to our team, to our success, and to our whole program, and just like the growth of our program. And so we stress that a lot. And it's something that I talk to athletes and parents a lot, just making sure that like we don't have to make nutrition complicated. but we need to make sure that we're eating fruits and vegetables. And I wish that I had somebody telling me just those basics, like, are you getting at least 5 to 7 fruits and vegetables in every day? Because I was not. I know I wasn't. And if we can do just the simple basics of that, I know that can be super transformative for athletes and their performance. So there's a lot more to my story. If you want to know more about it, we can chat more, but I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Courtney Trum to share a little bit about her experience as a former athlete and take it away.
Hey you guys, I am Courtney, and it's awesome because I don't stand on this leg very often when it comes to talking about Juice Plus. And I say that because I'm constantly in conversation with moms who have children who are very active, who have a love for whatever sport that they're playing. And if they have a child like mine, that whatever sport they dive into, they are 1000% committed. And I have to drag him off of whatever field, court, or whatever he's playing. And I think about, as his mom, and he's exerting himself for however many hours because he truly loves the sport that he's in. If I don't provide him with something that is of some sort nutrition, how the heck is he going to be able to bounce back and do the next day? So it gave me a glimpse. It was really funny. We stopped at a gas station before we got to my in-laws, and there was Arizona iced tea being like shoveled out of this gas station. And the reason I tell you this is this was my fix in college: Arizona raspberry iced tea and a Nutrageous bar. No joke. I was like in heaven if I got that at least 2 to 3 times a week. And I say that because on the flip side, when I got to college, I was trying to gain weight, and that was not the way to do it. And I had a long conversation with my trainer, and she was like, well, you're rail thin. You need to do X, Y, and Z. And it went back to the fact, like, my parents taught me well. We grew up on a farm. We ate meat and potatoes, and there was always a vegetable. There was literally carb, beef, and veggie on my plate every single night. And I'm super fortunate and blessed to have had that. But with that being said, I still was a kid that loved her sweet fix. And when I know what I know now and what I know today is that our bodies worked so hard and tirelessly, especially when you're passionate, and to be able to expect it to wake up the next morning and do the same thing is mind blowing. And without proper nutrition, there's going to be an extreme lag. And I feel like that's like the biggest thing I wish I wouldn't have had. You're out on the, for me, out on the ball field for 12 hours at a time. It had been like that since I was 12 years old, out on the ball field in the sun, in those different elements. And then you wake up the next morning at whatever time, 5, 6, 7, and then you're going to go do it all over again. What is your capability as an athlete in that moment? Can you play your best game? And yes, you're playing against kids that have the same sort of situation, but you want to be at your best. And I think about my son, who's only 9 right now, and what I want him to be is at his best every single day that he has the potential to go out there and do it. And that's the conversation that I want to have with a mom like me, and their child is 16, 17, thinking about the next steps of what that future athlete was, what that future athlete's going to look like. And that's why I think, not why I think, I know the power of that in Juice Plus is that, hey, this is something that it's impossible for me to say I've got 30 different plants, veggies, and berries. I think that's what we had, right? As an opportunity, like to get in a day. Nope, that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen today. It didn't happen yesterday. And it certainly didn't happen when I was a kid. My parents did their best and they continued to do their best, but that wasn't the case. So for me, as a mom, and talking to other families who have athletes in the household or just have children that obviously we want to see our children thrive. So having a simplified way to do that, it's a no-brainer. And then you think about all the other things on top of that that we're expecting athletes to do nowadays. I don't remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't start playing year round until I was 12 and a half. And the starting age, I remember I was coaching hardcore in travel ball right after college, and I was giving lessons. And I'm like, how old are you, sweetie? She's like, I'm 8 and a half. I'm like, you don't even know what you want, let alone the fact that your parents are paying $70 for this hour lesson. Like, that's the expectation. And the culture has changed a little bit, I would say, in the last couple of years since the pandemic. But we have to be cognizant of that if we're raising our children up in this environment where we're expecting elite performance, then we need to pair that with elite nutrition. And truly, I believe that's exactly what we have our hands on with Juice Plus. And so that's me kind of in a bottled up form, passionate about fueling our bodies. Well, I'm a mom, and you bring out that like itch in me to talk about any sort of athleticism. I'll go down that route with you with a happy heart. So I'm going to pass it over to Court Powers. We are two Courtneys, so try not to get confused, but it'll be great.
Two tall Courtneys too. We're both about 6 foot, 6'1". So I was a Division I collegiate basketball player. So we've got volleyball, softball, basketball. So I'm gonna take it back a little bit. I've actually been eating Juice Plus for 16 years. I was introduced to it in college, but unfortunately, after my collegiate career had ended, and I always just think, gosh, if only I'd known, if someone had introduced this to our family sooner, what a difference that could have made. Super blessed to have made it to that level. But I'm going to take it back. So I was raised in a pretty health conscious home. I would say, comparatively, my mom was a dentist. So she had kind of that understanding of like, if it's not good for your teeth and your oral health, it's just not good for you in general. Right. So she was very like, I'm not buying the junk food. We're not having the sugary cereals. There's no soda in this house. Like, with the exception of like, if we had a sleepover and, then we'd have some kind of fun treat. Right. But I was a competitive athlete traveling all over AAU basketball, and my parents were both busy working professionals. And so a lot of times I was being sent with friends' families on the team. And what were we getting in between games? Fast food, because that was what was quick. It was what was cheap. And that was what was how we were being fueled before, after, between games. So my parents did their best at home, and it was always like Court Trump said, like a balanced meal as far as like what we were told should be on your plate. Right. But what I do know for certain now, looking back with all of the experience and nutrition knowledge that we have from working within the Juice Plus company, it was not enough. There absolutely was not enough fruit and vegetable nutrition going into my body with how much I was taxing it from a very young age. And that, now looking back, was very obvious, because I played a winter sport, around the time when everybody's getting colds and flus, but every year I was getting knocked down with a gnarly cold that took me like 2 weeks to get over, partly because I was not resting. I was still going to practices and going to weights and doing all this stuff. Yes, I do have the genetics of, my dad was a former professional athlete. I'm tall. I have that athleticism naturally, but I also was just taught like work ethic, I would outwork anybody. And I did do that. I would go to practice, what was mandatory, and then I would go and do weightlifting on my own. I would do running on my own. I would do sprints. Like, I was seeking out basketball trainers, and so I was putting in a lot of hours to get to where I got. And it was clear that my body was already taxed by the time I got to college. I was battling little nagging injuries. I was getting sick regularly. And by the time I was at that Division I level, where you're out of the home for the first time and you don't have mom and dad making sure you're going to bed, you're staying up late studying, maybe you're partying, you're doing all these things, and you're relying on dining hall food. And you've got the stress of, okay, now not only am I just doing basketball or my sport because I love it, but now it's my job. And I played for a very psychotic coach. So it was very stressful. And it just became clear that my body wasn't keeping up with the demands of all of that whole situation. So I came off of the worst season of my life, constantly sick and injured. And all that extra time in the training room wears on you, and just like going from one sickness to the next and never feeling like you can perform at your best is really hard when you've worked so hard to get to that level and then you're constantly knocked out of the game. That's really tough. So when a friend of mine, who was actually my teammate, she was a best friend, roommate, teammate, and she, after that season, introduced me to Juice Plus, and she was like, look, I've been eating this since I was 7, so I don't really know any different. But what I have just realized is that I was the only girl on our team of 15 players that didn't miss a single game or a practice due to illness or injury. And that really stopped me in my tracks because I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. Like, you haven't been down once this year. And she's like, I'm doing the same thing everybody else is doing. I'm, staying up late, partying, like all this stuff, eating the same dining hall food as you, but I've been taking these. And so that's when I first was like, okay, how do I get this? Everybody I love needs this. I need to be eating these. They put fruits and vegetables in a capsule. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I will say now, now I'm not a Division I athlete. I'm not a competitive athlete. I'm a wife, a mom of two very busy kiddos. I'm a business owner, a farmer, a rancher, and now I'm not an elite athlete, but I am like demanding a lot of myself in a lot of other ways, and mentally, right? We're doing the cartwheels constantly as moms. And so just the fuel and nutrition of the Juice Plus products, all the entire product line, is very valuable to me at this stage of my life. I wish I'd had it back then, but even now, very, very important. And as an avid exerciser, someone, who's wanting to exercise regularly, move my body regularly for the health benefits, and just supporting that as I age and as I'm trying to keep up with my kids is really, really important to me as well. So I just want to, before I throw it back to Brittany, I just want to say, like, no matter if you are an avid exerciser, maybe you're an adult athlete, you're a parent of athletes, Juice Plus is such a helpful tool. And so whomever shared this video with you, whoever invited you to watch this, have a conversation about how this might work for your family, and the different ways that you can utilize these products to get more fruit and vegetable nutrition into your diet daily, but also your families. And I will say, as a mom, I absolutely love, and Brittany's going to talk more about this, absolutely love the fact that we basically have a BOGO deal, buy one, get one, for every adult who signs up for our fruit and vegetable blend capsules. They can get chewables or capsules for their child for free. So a family of 4 like mine can all be eating Juice Plus for the price of just 2 adult orders, which is really cool. And these little pocket packs of our chewables are fantastic now that the kids are back in school, to toss into lunches or for their snack. It's just such an easy way to make sure they're getting that nutrition that they need. And Brittany, I'm going to toss it to you.
Okay. So the cool thing, you guys, is that we work with a lot of like former athletes. I know Desiree's on here right now as well. She was a former athlete, and kind of similar to what Courtney was saying, honestly, like all of us are athletes. I used to have a coach who would say that, like, whether you actually were an athlete or not, like, we're athletes. Our bodies are trained to do amazing things. And so we need to put amazing things in it. Okay, so just really quick, like, if you are on this call, if you're listening to the recording and you're like, okay, cool, it sounds great. What the heck is Juice Plus? So Juice Plus is fruits, vegetables, and berries that have been pulverized, put into a powder form, put into capsules that you can kind of hear that. So we have fruit, vegetable, and berry blend capsules. So it's awesome, you guys. If you want to see more of the process of how it's made, we've got a really cool, like 2-3 minute video that shows exactly how it's made, how they retain the nutrients. It is amazing. But they also put them into chewable form, which my kids basically think are candy, and I'm kind of okay with that. So that is what Juice Plus is. It is literally food, you guys. There's a nutrition facts label on the back of it. So I know some people get confused because, like, if you see a bottle, you automatically think like, oh, it's some supplement. There's not a supplements facts label. This is exactly what you would see on the back of a bag of broccoli. It is food, which is amazing because that makes it highly bioavailable. It gets into our bloodstream and it goes to work. The other thing is that it's NSF certified. I know it's a little scary nowadays. People can put whatever the heck they want on labels and be like, it's healthy, it's gluten-free, it's this. And it's like, you're literally lying. So not everyone, okay? Not everyone's lying. There's plenty of plenty of places that are kind of twisting things. So NSF is a outside company that comes in to test the purity of the product and make sure essentially that there's no lying going on. It is in fact fruits, vegetables, and berries that are fueling your body with this product. The last thing is that it's the most researched nutritional product in the world. Mic drop. Like that's it, right? Like what other products do you know have over 48 published clinical studies proving, I pulled this up so I don't miss anything, proving that it's bioavailable in your body. I know a long time ago, I was like, what the heck is bioavailable? It just means it actually gets in your body, gets into your bloodstream and does work, rather than you taking vitamins and peeing them out and being like, why is my pee so bright yellow? Well, it's because it's not very bioavailable and not very much of it is getting into your body and actually doing work. Proving that it improves the immune function, antioxidant protection within your body, it decreases inflammation, it's improving your DNA, your cognitive function, your skin health, your gum health, cardiovascular health, your lung function, metabolic health, your athletic performance. Hello, there's studies on athletic performance, your gut health, your omega-3 index. Like it is amazing. And you guys, if you're interested, if you want to see more of those studies, you can check it out. It is all super quality, legitimate research. But I think that's what gets us so hyped about this. Like Courtney's been doing this for over a decade. I've been doing this for about 6 years. I know so many of us have been doing this for multiple years, and there's a reason for it. I mean, you can't refute something that is the most researched nutritional product, NSF certified, and it's food. It's just food. For me as a coach, it feels so good to recommend this to the parents of my athletes and not feel weird about it. Like, oh, it's food. We need to be eating more quality food. And then Courtney touched on the Healthy Starts program. That is, you can get as little as just the fruit and vegetable blends, this is awesome to start out with. Let me turn this the right way. You can get the fruit and vegetable blend for yourself. You could do the chewables or the capsules for yourself. And then you can get this for free for your kids. Amazing. As long as they're within the ages of 4 and 26, you can get it for free as long as you are utilizing the products yourself. Take advantage of it. It's amazing. I have a family size of 4 as well. So me and my husband utilize the products and then our kids get them for free. It's amazing. Last thing I want to touch on really quick before we jump off is that if you're listening to this and you're like, this group of ladies is really cool and I want to hang out with them more, it's only $10 to partner with our company right now, which is really cool. It's a really cool deal right now. It's normally $52 to partner with our company. You can get started with your own product, get a little kickback on your product. If you have other athletes, other people in your life who you know this would be beneficial for, you can take advantage of this. You can link arms with us. This is something that we all believe is very important. More people need to know about Juice Plus. More people need to know about the value of getting more whole food nutrition in your body. And as we're talking specifically tonight, there are so many athletes that are not fueling their bodies well. And it is the saddest thing in the world, if you've coached, if you've been around sports a lot, to watch an athlete that is so passionate in their sport, but not fueling their body well, and then ends up injuring themselves. I've seen it so many times, torn ACLs, out for the whole season. It is devastating. It almost makes me want to cry because like I have girls that this happens almost every year. And I'm like, I'm not saying nutrition's like the thing, but like, how are we eating? You know, are we sleeping? Are we drinking any water? So it's a really cool thing to be on this mission and help more families, more parents, more athletes know about something that's so simple that could be so impactful for their future and their longevity within their sports. So if you're interested, get back in touch with the person who invited you. And that's a wrap. I'm going to stop the recording. And then if anybody has questions, then we can chat a little bit.